oppositional defiant disorder, the most bullshit diagnosis in the DSM, and probably one of the biggest lies in the DSM since, the 70s, when they were saying that homosexuality was a mental disorder. I'm actually going to read you the DSM-4 definition. I understand DSM-4 is outdated, but it's the most easily and readily available one online, so here it goes. Quote, a pattern of negativistic, hostile, and defiant behavior lasting at least 6 months, during which 4 or more of the following symptoms are present. 1. Often loses temper. 2. Often argues with adults. 3. Often actively defies or refuses to comply with adults' requests or rules. 4. Often deliberately annoys people. 5. Often blames others for his or her mistakes or misbehavior. 6. Is often touchy or easily annoyed by others. 7. Is often angry and resentful. And 8. Is often spiteful or vindictive. So, yeah, what is this? This is a disorder for children who question authority. That's literally what it is. The DSM has pathologized absolutely every facet of everyday life and everyday, neurodiversity, including, and this is just, if you don't believe that psychiatry and politics are like fucking this, you're out of your mind. If you question authority, you have oppositional defiant disorder. A kid who questions his teacher, questions his parents, refuses to comply with their rules because he doesn't believe in them, oppositional defiant disorder. And no doubt, had I been seeing a psychiatrist when I was like 9, 10, 11 years old, I would have had oppositional defiant disorder. Oh, and I do want to clear one thing up. These kids aren't actually harming anyone. This is all verbal and personality things, because conduct disorders are basically the same thing, except children with conduct disorders often torture animals or physically harm people, or light things on fire and actually have destructive behavior towards persons, animals, and property. This isn't that. This is literally people questioning authority. This is kids saying, hey, fuck you, why are you telling me to do my homework? Why should I listen to you? Or why are you telling me I have to eat this? Why are you telling me I can't watch TV? Why are you telling me that I have to do all these things? I don't think you're right, and I'm going to question you and question your authority. That is literally labeled as a mental illness under DSM-4 and DSM-5 criteria. It's just the most absurd thing ever. And actually, if you read more about it, that it's also, and this is interesting, it's not just opposing adult authority, but it's also opposing the authority of consensus, which means that if a large enough majority of people agree for something and this child doesn't agree with it, then they have oppositional defiant disorder. Literally, if like 80% of their peers are doing one thing and this kid says, no, fuck that, I'm not going to do it, oppositional defiant disorder. It is the most bullshit diagnosis I could ever possibly think of. I want you to think about the great people in history. Look at people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, all the people who have actually made a difference in the last 100 years, all of them, every single fucking one of them is questioning authority and saying, no, fuck you, we shouldn't be doing things the way that we're doing. That's what great, smart, intelligent people do. They say, okay, we've been doing this for 100 years, but why are we doing it? It's a mentality of questioning absolutely everything. Question everything, the Socratic dictum. And yeah, Socrates, oppositional defiant disorder to the max. Socrates was told by, all of his fellow philosopher friends and by the Greek government, obey these rules, this is the way things have been due to traditions. And Socrates was always asking, okay, well, what does it mean? You tell me I need to have respect. You tell me that, you have knowledge. What does knowledge mean? What does respect mean? Why should I listen to you? Why should I listen to your definitions of those things? It's crazy. The greatest people in history and the smartest people we know of and the people we look to for wisdom were all people who had oppositional defiant disorder. It's just absolutely fucking mind-blowing. And like I said, I know as a kid, I definitely would have had that. Teachers were always telling me, oh, you're so disorganized and messy, you don't listen, you don't follow the rules. Like in math classes, they would always tell me I had to take my calculator. And I would always forget to take my calculator because I just had my fucking head in the clouds. And they'd be like, oh, you don't have your calculator, we're going to have to give you points off on the test. I was like, why? Fuck you. If I can do the math without a calculator, why are you giving me points off the test? I'm still learning the material. And it was the same thing with homework. Teachers would fucking throw the book at me with homework, extra homework, give me homework because I didn't do my homework. Like, it was fucking bullshit. And I said, okay, well, if I can get an A on the test and I can do absolutely none of the homework, then what's the deal here? And it's because homework has nothing to do with actually learning things. It's about just learning to obey authority. The school systems, the political systems, and psychiatry, just one big gnarled root around the same fucking tree. They're all linked together. The school's not designed to fucking teach you anything. They're designed literally just to make you obedient, subservient consumers. And that's why they have oppositional defiant disorder, and that's why counselors are going to say to their parents of these children, your kid has been acting up, and he's not doing his homework. He's telling his teachers that he doesn't want to do things. He's questioning them. He's acting up in class. He's questioning his peers. Not very social. He seems to question peer consensus. He's just not really fitting in, and he's pissing our teachers off. So we're gonna recommend you take your kid to a psychiatrist. And the mother or the father, oh, there's something wrong with our kid. Oh, fuck. Oh, poor us. We got to go do something about this. So they take the kid to the psychiatrist, and they slap him with oppositional defiant disorder, which in 50% of cases, according to this study, is comorbid with ADHD. So, oh, your kid is opposing authority? Just fucking jack him full of stimulants. Put him on Ritalin, put him on Adderall. You'll be good. You'll be so fucking high, he won't give a shit anymore. And that's the way we deal with people who are rebellious. Rather than letting them, actually question things and maybe change something, we say, no, you have to be a passive zombie. You have to do your homework just like everyone else, even though you're, able to do the test, whatever. You have to listen to your parents. You have to listen to your boss when you're older. You have to do what everybody above you tells you. You got to pay your taxes. You got to follow all the rules, do all this bullshit, just so you can be one of us, a fucking zombie-ass consumer. And that's not the way it should be, because, like I said, you look at people in history who have done great things, all of them are questioning authority. I'm really passionate about this topic, and I love pissing people off and educating them about it and kind of questioning people's assumptions. It's the oppositional defiant disorder in me.